Chapter 5 is also Karma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness. It's quite a short chapter in comparison with the previous ones, but every verse is very significant. Generally, any verse of Bhagavad Gita contains one or more spiritual techniques we have to apply in our practice of Krishna consciousness. And this chapter contains important instructions. So it starts with the same question practically in the third chapter. Arjuna is still confused because Krishna has been stressing two things at the same time. Work in Krishna consciousness and inaction or renunciation. And in the mind of Arjuna, that appears to be incompatible. But Krishna consciousness is renounced action. It's a combination. That, that it seems he has not understood yet that work in full knowledge has no reaction. What is full knowledge? Who Krishna is, who we are, what our relationship, and act in that relationship. That's the knowledge. The therefore inquires, should I not fight? Should I cease work? Or should I work with full knowledge? That is his question. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Arjuna Uvacham Tanya Sankamanam Krishna Punha Yogam Sasamsati Yashayati Yogekam Tamne Voishnishitam. Arjuna said, Oh Krishna, first of all you asked me to announce work, and then again you recommend work with devotion. Now will you kindly tell me which of the two is more beneficial? This Krishna will answer that in the first verses. So the first 6 verses are about renunciation of work, renunciation or work in devotion. That's the question. Krishna will answer of the two, both. He will say both are good for liberation, but devotional service is better. So it should be always renounced, because those who renounce are those who study Vedanta, Sankhya, the difference between matter and spirit we discussed before. And those who perform karma yoga or devotional service, it's the same essence. Because the Sankhya, or the study between matter and spirit, is searching for the cause of everything. And that cause is Krishna. And devotional service does the same. It's concerned with the cause, Krishna, but they are serving Krishna. They are serving with the same. But devotional service is better. It's the same because the devotees, they want to become attached to Krishna. And what's the result? They are detached from matter. They are also renounced to say the same. But that renunciation without Krishna, that's very difficult. Glacial Tiketara station. So that's what we will learn, the first 6 verses, the summary, but Prabhupada gives a summary, and also here we have a separate summary of the entire chapter. Chapter 5 opens with a question by Arjuna that is similar to one Arjuna asked at the beginning of chapter 3. He will ask a similar question at the beginning of chapter 18. There he will ask, tell me what is better. It's sannyas or tyag. Sannyas means acting without material desire. And tyag means giving up the results of your actions. And in the 18th chapter, Krishna will say, tyag is better. But that's devotional service. It's better to give up the results of your actions. And because everyone can give up the results of actions if he wants, but not everyone can take sannyas or act without material desire, because they are in harm. So, which is better, detached work or renunciation of work? Krishna replies that although the results of karma yoga and renunciation of work are ultimately the same, karma yoga is better. Because it's easier to perform. It's safer and practical, and it keeps the senses engaged while simultaneously purifying the heart by walking. That's the summary of this first 6 verses. But first, in the commentary of the first verse, Srila Prabhupada speaks about the 5th chapter. In the 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that work in devotional service is better than time and for speculation. Devotional service is easier than the love because being transcendental in nature, it frees one from reaction. So by simultaneously stressing the importance of work in devotion and inaction in knowledge, Krishna is perplexed Arjuna and confused determination. If one performs work in devotional service, then how is work stopped? That he appears not to have understood that work in full knowledge is non-reactive, and therefore the same as inaction. Inaction and action. Action is spiritual and materially inactive. That is the point. Let's see. So renunciation of work in devotion. Arjuna's doubt, according to Vishwanath. It is not possible to perform both renunciation of action and karma yoga at once because there is an essential contradiction between the two. Just as there is contradiction between remaining stationary and moving. So now, text 2. Bhagavan Vacha Sanya Sakam Yogishan Nishresha Karakubal Taris Kama Sanya Sakama Yoga Vishishnate. The personality of God that replied, renunciation of work and walking devotion are good, both good for liberation. But of the two, walking devotion of service is better than renunciation. Or, so devotion of service is better than renunciation because renunciation of fruitive activities does not purify the heart. That's a problem. That you can renounce, but purify the heart. Only Krishna can purify the heart. Krishna is the purificator factor. If Krishna in the mind, he will purify. But unless one acts in the status of the spiritual, one acts as the spiritual, not as the body, but as spiritual, then one was purified, not in liberation. Acting as a spiritual means acting as a servant and give all the results to Krishna. So renunciation without Krishna consciousness is complete renunciation, Rupa Goswami, which is Anasaktasya, I forgot the name, the Sanskrit, but it says, while being unattached to the object of the senses and understand that everything is the property of Krishna and everything should be used in the service of Krishna, then one is properly situated in renunciation. That's proper renunciation. Yeah. Taktam upayumyata. Nirvana Krishna Sambandhe Yuktavaham Uchate Yuktavaham. That is the verse Yuktavaham Uchate. But then one is properly situated in renunciation. So the renunciation of this impersonalist is false. Because suppose I tell everyone, I've renounced the house of my neighbor. They will say, oh, little man. But that is what the impersonal says. I've renounced my wife, I've renounced my house, I've renounced my children, my money, my bank balance, my. But it belongs all to Krishna. So their premise is false from the beginning. It doesn't belong to us. You can't renounce something which does not belong to you. So that's powerful renunciation, false renunciation. That it's not real. Real renunciation is recognize the real proprietor. And then okay, I use it in business service, but it's not mine. So yes, devotion service is better than renunciation because devotion service purifies the heart. That is so unless one understands that everything in existence belongs to Krishna and should be used in his service, activities performed with this knowledge will cause further advancement in real knowledge. So it's that it karma yoga is better because it's easier to perform, because it's safer, and it contains yang within it. Three things. Baladev Vidya Krishna said. If you perform the devotional service, it's easy. We perform service in this, everyone performs service in this world. For their boss, for their wife, for their husband, for the children. But then we do it for Krishna. Easy. And it is safer that because when you always serve Krishna, the senses are properly engaged and will not do mischief. They will be controlled. We control the mind and the senses by engaging them in Krishna's service. That's much more easy than trying to control artificially sitting there, but the mind won't cooperate and contaminate. That will not work. Very difficult. That it's safer. That and when we serve Krishna, then Krishna gives us realization from within. It contains jnana, knowledge. Three advantages. All David Yabushan puts it very nicely. That renunciation without Krishna consciousness is incomplete. That's the verse. Renunciation is complete when it is in the knowledge that everything in existence belongs to the Lord Krishna, and that no one should claim proprietorship over anything. Because everything belongs to Krishna, everything should be engaged in his service. Because otherwise it's incomplete. And Rupa Goswami, the verse is mentioned in the purport of the Bhagavad Gita. Papanchikataya Utya Arisam Vandipastani Manusubi Parichayopayam Falkukatsati. When persons eager to achieve liberation renounce things related to the Supreme Person of their Godhead, thinking them to be material, their renunciation is called incomplete. Renunciation is incomplete when it is in the knowledge that everything in existence belongs to the Lord. But no one should claim proprietorship over anything. One should understand that practically nothing belongs to anyone. Then, where is the question of renunciation? One who knows that everything is Krishna's property is always situated in renunciation. Since everything belongs to Krishna, everything should be employed in the service of Krishna. This perfect form of action Krishna consciousness is far better than any amount of artificial renunciation by someone may abolish. So, text 3. Yeya sanitya sanyasim yonakashti nakamshati netranto imahava omshukam bangat pamoshati. When the neither hates nor desires the fruits of the activity is known to be always renounced, such a person free from the relatives easier becomes material bondage and is completely liberated from mighty armed Arjuna. So, in the purport, when he is fully Krishna conscious, is always a renouncer. He feels neither hatred nor desires for the result of his action. He knows very well that Krishna is the whole, and that he is part and parcel of Krishna. The concept of oneness with Krishna is incorrect because the part cannot be equal to the whole. That's the fallacy of the impersonals. Knowledge that one is one in quality yet different in quantity is correct. Transcendental knowledge leading one to become fully in himself, having nothing to do, nothing to aspire or lament. So we are one and different from Supreme Lord. Asintya, Aveda, Veda, Tattva, one and different, one in quality, different in quantity. So this, in a devotee's mind, there is no duality, no attachment or aversion, which are obstacles in the power of liberation. We have heard in 334 that whatever he does for Krishna, is thus freed from the platform of duality, is liberated even in this material world. Srila Prabhupada. So one who is in Krishna consciousness is always an announcer because he feels neither hatred nor desires for the result. Materialistic people, when they do something, there should be some profit. And when they don't get the result, they get frustrated and averse to the situation. The devotee does not have attachment or aversion. Is a sign that one is on the body platform. So there is no duality in this mind, because whatever he does for Krishna. Being thus freed from the platform of duality is liberated, not in the world. Oh. And that, if Krishna says that both paths lead to the same result. Sankaya Pitabala, Padavandina Pandita, Ekamapasita, Samyak Upayoganate Phalam. Only the ignorant speak of devotional service as being different from the analytical study of material world. Those who are actually learned say that he who applies himself to one of these paths achieves the result. So one process is finding the root of the tree of the path. And the other process is watering the root. For finding the root, the Sankhya philosophers, they try to find the cause of everything. And what is the cause of everything? It's Krishna. And the devotees know that the cause of Krishna, the cause of everything is Krishna, but they are serving Krishna, they are watering. So the aim of analytical study of the material world is to find the soul of existence. The soul of the material world is Krishna or the super soul. Devotional service entails service. One process is to find the root, and the other is to water the root. The aim of both is Krishna. Interesting. Yes. So in essence, there is no difference between the devotional service and Sankhya, of this analytical study. That study of Brahma Sutras and so on. To understand the difference between matter and spirit, and the original spirit is the super soul. Both aims is finding the root, watering. And how can we understand that practically? That they are the same. So, because one process aims at finding the root, the other is watering the root. But now, what does that mean? But more practical. So, text 5. That Sankhya Papate Stan, that you have become Samsayoga, Sayapasastapastati. But then also the position reached by means of analytical study can also be attained by devotional service. You therefore see analytical study and devotional service on the same level, ceasing as they are. At the end, the last line of the attachment for matter and attachment to Krishna are one and the same. That's important. That The attachment for Mother and attachment to Krishna are 100%. When you become attached to Krishna, you are not attached to anything in this world. That you become detached from all other things. That, so that's automatic. No separate effort to become detached, just by attaching to Krishna. So it appears that those who perform Sankhya, that they are renounced, and those who perform devotional service not. But no, that's not true. That those who perform Sankhya have a great difficult time becoming renounced. And if we develop devotion for Krishna, this renunciation is already achieved. And it's more easy. You don't have to give up your sense gratification and so on. We take nice prasadam, we keep the body in balance. It's more easy than the tapasya of the impersonalist. Tapasya means they have to artificially give up sense gratification. It's very difficult. Therefore, Krishna says in the next verse, renunciation is difficult without karma. Sannyasamago dukkam aptum ayogata. So the dukkam is very troublesome. Aptum ayogata. That aptum without ayogata, not connected with Krishna. Yoga is connection. Ayoga, not connected with Krishna. Ayogata, without devotional service. Yoga, yukta. One will engage in devotional service. Yukta means worship. The linking process of devotional service is in Bhakti. Devotional service links you to Krishna. That's yoga yukta. Munirvana, that Nanchena Digachati, that by that process one can easily achieve the supreme. So there are two kinds of sannyasis. The Mayavadi sannyasis who are engaged in the study of Sankhya Yoga, and the Vaishnava sannyasis who are engaged in the study of the Bhagavatam, which upholds the proper commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. So they are both study the commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. One studies the Rama Sutras, Vedanta Sutra, and the other studies the Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam is the natural commentary on Vedanta Sutra. Vedanta Sutra is very cryptic aphorism. And the first one is Janmasya Yasya. Janmasya Yasya. What's the first verse of the Bhagavatam? Janmasya Yasya Yatom So that is the first verse. It defines immediately the source of everything as Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is independent. That's Bharat. Yes, Bhagavatam is a matter of commentary. The impersonalists, this Sarika Bhasya of Shankaracharya, that, yeah, but the devotees, they follow regulations of the Pancharatriki. Pancharatriki, I gave a whole course on Pancharatriki. That's how Pancharatriki came about from Brahma, and now it became now the all the instructions how to worship the Lord practically. Instructions for deity worship, lifestyle for deity worship. That there is only sometimes the Lord says different standards for deity worship, but that's not in the scripture. There's only one standard, Pancharatrika Vidhi, and that must be followed. The rest is concoction. You have to be careful. Vaishnava sannyasis who are engaged in the devotional service are happy in the discharge of their transcendental duties, and they have the guarantee of ultimate entrance in the kingdom of God. So that purpose is my hope. Let's see what happens. The Mayavadi sannyasis sometimes fall down from the path of self-realization and again enter into material activities of a philanthropic and altruistic nature. And we have explained why that is. Because the soul wants activity, Krishna says in the third chapter, you cannot even maintain your body without actions. So the soul is so active while it is in the body. Why should it not be active when it's out of the body? No, it's the nature of the soul to be active. Those who are engaged in Krishna consciousness activities are better situated than the sannyas engaged in simple speculation about what is Brahman, what is not Brahman, although they come to Krishna consciousness after many births. That's yes. Good. The next verses, 6 verses. Symptoms, acts, and attainments of the Karma Yoga in Krishna consciousness. Symptoms. So this one's verse 7 till 12. Symptoms, acts, and attainments. I will read the verses, the translation, and then go back. One who walks in devotion with a pure soul who controls his mind and senses is dear to everyone, and everyone is dear to him. They are always walking, such a man is never entangled. And then a person in divine consciousness, although engaged in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving about, sleeping, and breathing, always knows within himself that he actually does nothing at all. Because while speaking, evacuating, receiving, or opening or closing his eyes, he always knows that only the material senses are engaged with their object, and that he is aloof from them. One who performs his duty without attachment, serving, exhausted, will note is unaffected by simple action, as a lotus is untouched by water. And the yogi, abandoning attachment, active body, mind, intelligence, and even with the senses only for the purpose of purification. The steadily devoted soul obtains unadulterated peace because he offers the results of activities to me. Whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is free for the fruits of his labor, hopes, and that is the symptom, acts, and attainment in the Karma Yoga. The first is 7, dear to everyone. So Krishna explains the performance of Nishkam Karma Yoga, when the knowledge of Krishna understands his incompatibility with material nature and thus acts only for purification, giving the results of his work to Krishna. Thus he remains unattached, performing work as a matter of duty. So, when you are dirty, you want to take a shower, right? Well, our subtle body is dirty. It's full of material desires, and we want to clean it. So when who is dirty wants to be clean. And that's not very important. He asks for his purification always. He wants to clean his heart. He doesn't want to be contaminated in the heart. But verse 7, I read the verse again. Yoga yukta vishuddhatma vichtatma chitam Sarvaputtatma kaupana lupyate. When he walks in devotion with a pure soul who controls his senses, is dear to everyone. And everyone is dear to him. While always walking, such a man is never entangled. Such a person comes dear to everyone, becomes a friend of everyone. Why is that? He does not want to exploit everyone for himself. He's selfless. Therefore, his character is very sweet. So one who is on the path of liberation by Krishna consciousness is very dear to every living being, and every living being is dear to him. He knows very well that by pouring water on the root of the tree, the water will be distributed to all leaves, branches, multiplying food to the stomach. Energy is automatically distributed. And because everyone is satisfied by his work, it's in pure consciousness. Because it's in pure consciousness, its mind is completely controlled. But if we are engaged in Krishna consciousness, then there is no chance to engage in matters other than the service of God. The devotee does not like to hear any topics not related to Krishna, because that's going to contaminate my heart. I want to purify. He does not like to eat anything not over to Krishna, that's going to contaminate. So that inner desire to become pure, that makes us advance in devotional service. He does not want to go anywhere if Krishna is not involved. So people ask me, do you like traveling? I say, no interest in traveling. But I want to go where the devotees are with my service. But that is why then, one may ask, and there's a question you asked many times, why was Arjuna offensive in the battle? That he wanted to kill all the living entities. Was he not Krishna conscious? Arjuna was only superficially offensive because all the assembled persons on the battlefield would continue to live individually as the soul cannot be slain. So spiritually, no one was killed on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Only their dresses were changed by the order of Krishna, who was personally present. Therefore, Arjuna, while fighting on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, was not really fighting at all. He was simply carrying out the orders of Krishna and full Krishna consciousness. Such a person is never entangled in their actions. Very easy to understand, very difficult to understand for those people. So here we have Sanatana Goswami, I think, that offering kind of doll, big doll, to Madan Mohan. That Sanatana Goswami was here. It is said in the Vastika, in the Sat Goswami Vastika. He was liked by the ruffians and the gentle equally. And if there was a conflict in the village, they would go to Sanatana Goswami to mediate. So because he's in pure consciousness, his mind is completely controlled. Because his mind is controlled, his senses are also controlled. Because his mind is always fixed on Krishna, there is no chance of his senses deviating from Krishna. Nor is there a chance that he will engage his senses in multiple Verse 8, 9, I'm doing nothing at all. It's a very enigmatic verse. All the conditions. Najba kinčit kalomiti, mandita tatka, pasans pisam, chikam, atangatan, sapam, papam, palapam, vichyon, nisham, unnisham, nimisham, mapi, indyach, tesubhaktatayitidaya. A person in the divine consciousness. This is the one who is Krishna conscious. What does this mean? All engaged in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving about, sleeping, and breathing, always know himself he actually does not at all. Because while speaking, evacuating, receiving, or opening, or closing his eyes, he always knows that only the material senses are engaged with their objects, and that is away from that. So, in the purport, although it appears that to be acting with his body and senses, he's always conscious of his actual position, which is spiritual engagement. That a Krishna conscious person is never affected by the actions. He cannot perform any act except in the service of God, because he knows that he is the eternal servant of Krishna. So the point made is we have this body that Prabhupada would say. We have this arm, see this arm. You see the gross arm. But beneath the gross arm there is the subtle arm, the subtle body. And beneath the subtle body is the spiritual sense. Spiritual senses are there, are coupled by matter, by subtle and gross. So that's knowledge. But I tell you again a story. In the spiritual world, everyone has a spiritual body. That spiritual body can only be used for one purpose, service to Krishna. You cannot use that for any material purpose. Disregarding how we came here, but we came here, we left the spiritual world. That it's like, yes, we wanted to enjoy separate from Krishna. And Krishna said, you want to do that? You are sure? Say yes, be bound. Okay, but you cannot do that with your spiritual body. Therefore, I give you a material body, subtle and gross. And that's covering. But it's only covering. The spiritual body is there. The spiritual body is now inactive. But we make it active by serving. Start to serve Krishna. And that is, yeah. So although he appears to be acting with his body and senses, he's always conscious of his actual position, which is spiritual engagement. The spiritual senses become active again. Gradually. So that is, if we are beyond here, be beyond liberation when the heart is pure, the spiritual body will be manifest. And we will start to identify with the spiritual, not with the material, even while it becomes mystical. That's keep on moving. And that's described also in nectar instruction in the later verse that one should go to the, what is the verse? One should go to the bank, serve Krishna there in his city Deya, in his spiritually infused body, that something like that. But it's there, you can read that. But the thing is, we do our action with our spiritual senses, but we don't have control about the subtle and the gross body. The subtle and the gross body is controlled by the super soul. And the super soul is doing the actions because of our desire. And we are, and by that, we are observing that. Like I'm speaking now, that, and while speaking, feeling Krishna in the heart, and I know I want to speak, Krishna does it. So the Krishna factor is there. We take always the Krishna factor. I'm not the only one. It's I'm only co-pilot. My friend is there and he does half of the work. I'm only more than half. I'm only desire, that's not much. And as a person in divine consciousness, you see, I'm doing all these things, but factually, I'm doing nothing. I'm only desiring because my friend, the co-pilot, is doing it. Does that make sense? A better understanding of what's going on here. So, yes. The Lord teaches the method by which one is not contaminated by actions. Although the karma yoga yukta is engaged in steam and other actions by fire verifying with his intelligence that the senses alone are engaged in the objects, it thinks, I'm not doing at all. I'm doing nothing at all. It's material nature, but does it? I'm only desire. And this is so controls your nature. Okay, text 10. Anyadanya karmani sangam chaksha karotya lipyate nasatapena patra mibamasa. When it performs its duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord is unaffected by simple action. As the lotus leaf is untouched by water. You see a lotus leaf here, and you put a drop of water and it rolls over it. It doesn't impregnate. It's untouched by the water. So that in the purport, the conclusion is that a person without Krishna consciousness acts according to the concept of the material body and senses. But a person in Krishna consciousness acts according to the knowledge that the body is the property of Krishna and should therefore be engaged in the service of Krishna. With that mentality, you are like the lotus leaf, and the water does not impregnate, so no simple, unaffected by simple action. Okay. Even one's material body being a gift of the Lord for carrying out a particular type of action can be engaged in Krishna consciousness. It is then beyond contamination by simple reactions, exactly as the lotus leaf, though remaining in the water, is not wet. But here you have the paradhan, The material world is a sum total manifestation of the three modes of material nature, technically called Deland. Yeah. That's described in the Srimad Bhagavatam that so Krishna, Mahavishnu, Karnataka Vishnu, by his plans, he put into Brahman. So Brahman is everywhere. He put into Brahman the three modes of nature unmanifested. That yeah. That and that is, and then I think that is Pradhan. And then by his plans, he injects time in the living entities. And in this three modes material nature, the three modes are there, Rajas, Tamas, Sattva, but they are in equilibrium. But then the living entities are injected together with their material desires. And by the influence of these material desires, the equilibrium of the three modes breaks, start to move. And then they start, living entities combine with these modes and create false ego for their desires. It's the first element, false ego. It's a long story. But the material world is coming from Brahman. Krishna puts the three modes unmanifest in Brahman. So everything is related to the Supreme Brahman, Krishna, and thus everything belongs to him. A person in Krishna act according to the knowledge of the bodies of Krishna. He should be engaged in the service of Krishna. His action answers beyond the contamination of sinful lives. So that's acting with Buddhi Yoga, with knowledge. That's the knowledge and the essence of the knowledge behind your action. If you act without understanding, no reaction. We should never think this is mine. Okay. Therefore, that's what I said before. The devotee wants to be clean of all contamination of material modes, of the contamination of his heart, contamination of the mind, contamination of the intelligence. He wants to remove that. Therefore, he acts for his purification. That actions for purification are actions in Krishna consciousness. Devotional service is purifying. That so we want to become pure. Kayena manasa buddhya kevala gyana yogina karma krupanti sangham chakva sudayu for the purpose of purification. When one acts in Krishna consciousness for the satisfaction of the senses of Krishna, any action, whether of the body, mind, intelligence, or even the senses, is purified of material contamination. Everything we connect with Krishna purifies us. Of contamination. Where was the contamination? Krishna said to Arjuna, where is the enemy? Yes. Senses, mind, intelligence. Mind, intelligence is the subtle body. How do we purify the mind? Manmana. Always think of Krishna. Because never forget him. Manmana. So If we perform the devotional service, we keep up Krishna, we become purified. How do we purify the intelligence? Yes, by engaging in practical service, but also by study of transcendental or the transcendental science from the Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Krishna says in the 18th chapter, one who studies this Bhagavad Gita, this dialogue between me and Arjuna, he worships me with his intelligence. Then intelligence becomes purified. So we are cleaning for the moment, cleaning party, the subtle body, intelligence. We are acting for purification. The yogis are abandoning attachment, active body, mind, intelligence, and even with the senses only for the purpose of purification. That's the, yes. This is how to do that. That's that verse that I'm always quoting here. Iyayasya vedasya kamanamana sagri, Nikolesha Bhavasti Suti Vanmuktasarukshati. A person acting in Krishna consciousness with body, mind, intelligence, and words is a liberated person even within this material world, although he may be engaged in so-called material activities. So engaging our body, mind, and intelligence in Krishna's service. That's our purification. Text 12. Yukta karma palam chakta santimagnoti nashkim ayukta karma karana palisakta nibhakshatim. The steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace because he offers the result of activities to me, whereas a person who is not in union with the divine is greedy for the fruits of his labor constant time. Yes. The difference between a person in Krishna consciousness and a body in bodily consciousness is that the person in Krishna consciousness is attached to Krishna, and all the others in this world, the conditioned soul, they are attached to the results of their activities. Srila Prabhupada writes, the person who is attached to Krishna and works for him is certainly a liberated person and has no anxiety over the results. One who is entangled in profit calculation or sense gratification cannot have peace. Always calculations. In the purport further, all that exists is the product of Krishna's energy, and Krishna is all good. Therefore, activities in Krishna consciousness are on the absolute plane. They are transcendental and have no material effect. One who is therefore filled with peace in Krishna, and one therefore is filled with peace in Krishna consciousness. But one who is entangled in profit calculation and for sense gratification cannot have peace. This is the secret of Krishna consciousness, of Krishna conscious realization, and there is no existence beside Krishna. It is the platform of peace and fearlessness. The steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace because he offers the result of activities. Okay, the next 4 verses. The relationship between Ishvara, Jiva, and Prakriti. So we have, in the introduction, we have heard these 5 topics, and here we get relations between Ishvara, Jiva, and Prakriti. We'll see in the 13th chapter that goes further. The 13th chapter, there will be 6 topics discussed. Kshetra, Kshetrajya, Yan, Kyeyam, Prakriti, and Purush. That so the body, the Kshetra, which is the field of activities, and one who knows the body is the soul and the super soul. And then Jnana is knowledge of the super soul. And Jnana is knowing the difference between etc. etc. And then Prakatya and Purush are explained and their relationship. So their Prakatya and Purush, their Jiva and Prakatya. It's the same, more or less, but in the 13th chapter, the Jnana about that, the knowledge is very deep. That this is just some, a further explanation of Karma Yoga, fifth chapter. That to perform properly Karma Yoga, you must know who Krishna is, Ishvara. You have to know who Jiva is, be, and you have to know who controls Bhakti, the body, not us, it is the person. So yes, I read first the verses. Verse 13. Sarvakarmani manasa sanyasya kambasti nagadvave puedehi naivako vannakaram. An embodied soul, living, being controls its nature mentally and announced all actions hereby happily in the city of 9 gates, the material body, neither walking nor posing, work to be done. Nakakitvam nakamani lokasyochit vipavu nakamapuru samyadam spavastu pavaktate. And what is the great master of the city of his body does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create the fruits of action. All this is enacted by the laws of nature. And now that he catchit papam nachiv sukritam pibum akan naftam kanam tinamyam. Nor does the Supreme Lord assumes anyone's sinful or pious activities. And embodied beings, however, are bewildered because of ignorance of their knowledge. Then, however, one is invited with the knowledge by which necessity is destroyed, then this knowledge reveals everything, as the sun lights up everything to the daytime. These are all very important points. So, a summary of this section: the transcendentalist who works with the attachment as knowledge of the relationship between the living entity, material nature, and the super soul. Although the most nature of the super soul may appear to be the cause of all action and reaction, they are not responsible. Because we have pushed the button. Remember? The green button, the red button. When the living entity desires to enjoy material nature, the modes carry out the necessary actions with the permission of the super soul. So that when we push the body to the button, we desire that. Super soul will verify, you desire that? Do you deserve that? Let's see. What's your karma? And then the machinery of material nature start to work. But we have to push the body. Then push the button. So Krishna says, you're not a Dekayachit Papa. I'm not responsible. You have pushed, not me. That. And in the previous verse, it is said that yes, everything is done by material nature, not by the living entity. The living entity does nothing, has only pushed the button. So that is what this verse in 13. Let's go again to this verse. When the embodied living beings controls its nature and mentally announces all actions exerts happily in the city of nine gates. The material body neither walking or nor causing work to be done. We find that also in the Bhagavatam, 4 chapters, that King Puranjan, living in the body, lives in the city that of nine gates, 2 eyes, 2 ears, a nose, a mouth, and the others. The soul, although subjecting himself to the condition of the body, can be beyond those conditions. Krishna consciousness can revive his real position and thus come out of this embodiment. We don't need to be in this city which we are now carrying everywhere. But when he identifies himself with the Lord within himself, he just becomes as free as the Lord, even while in the body. Therefore, Krishna conscious person is free from both the outer and inner activities of the material body. He's free because he does not identify with the activities of the body. He knows Krishna is doing that. Every moment he sees Krishna doing things, and he's desiring. I'm pushing the button, Krishna doing it. So when the embodied living being controls his nature mentally and announces all action, here's what's happening in the city of nine gates, neither walking nor causing work to be done. Interesting, in this verse it is said, it's not causing any work, it's not doing anything. In the next verse, Krishna says, I'm also not doing everything, you push the button. Very confusing. Everyone says, I'm not doing it. Who is doing it here? Are you doing it? Who is the coach? No, but one must understand Krishna organized the system, and we are putting the buttons for our desires, activating our nature. That city of nine gates. Here you have the details: 2 eyes, 2 ears, the anus, 2 nostrils, 1 mouth, the genitals. The Krishna conscious person is free from the outer and inner activities of the material body. One who has prema for Krishna is not aware that he has a material body. It's compared in the Bhagavatam to a drunken man. Drunken man. He doesn't know whether he wears clothes or not. But Nityananda was also like that. He didn't know if he was wearing clothes or not. But anyway, that's prema. Verse 14. Nakati for Nakami, Lucas says she's Nakama for some years for Pastor Lord. And body spirits master of his body does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create the fruits of action. All this is enacted by the mouths of God. Okay. So about those rights. As long as one is in the city of the body appears to be the master of it, but actually is neither its proprietor nor the controller of its actions. The waves of the ocean are tossing him, and he has no control over them. We have no control of what is going to happen next moment. No idea. Something may happen that so many sudden things that yes. So he does not create a particular situation for any living entity, but the living entity bewildered by chance desire to be put in certain conditions of life, and therefore his change of action and reaction begins. So we are desiring to be put in certain conditions of life. Desiring is pushing the button. And it's saying to Krishna, I want that. Desire is a prayer to Krishna. Practically, I want that. And Krishna says, okay, you want that? I don't want that. You want that. I want you to do something else. But anyway, we'll check. Do you deserve it? Okay, go. So Krishna is neutral for the conditions. So samam sarvabhuta suname tvishnavyam. It's an unequal to all living entities that I'm neutral toward them. But in the next verse, but for my devotee, I take special care. That, but the conditions show they are not aware that the super soul is there. And he gives them the reactions. But for the devotee, he doesn't just give reactions. He will, what will he do? Ananya I give my devotee what he needs. We may need certain things to become purified. Krishna organizes. So your karma, it's not ordinary karma. It's Krishna teaching you of the lessons we have to learn. Krishna gives us tests. One devotee asks Srila Prabhupada, does Krishna give us tests? Prabhupada says, oh yes, he gives tests. And do the tests, the devotee, do the tests become always more severe? Prabhupada said, no. Once you have passed the test, you pass the test. The problem is we don't pass the test. And Krishna gives it again. But once we pass the test, finish. But that's interesting. So tossed by the waves of the ocean, that is, in devotional service, we go up and down, tossed by the waves. And we have to learn to tolerate up and down. We are on the boat, but the boat is open. The waves of the ocean are tossing, and we have no control of that. Yes. We never know that. In Belgium, I rented for a few months an apartment on the coast to do some preaching. But then, when I finished the rent, a new renter came, and he's been in the apartment for 4 days. He passed away. So you never know. Can happen every month. But when we speak about we push the button, that how does the super soul know we push the button without design? Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport. The super soul can understand the desires of the inner soul, as one can smell the flavor of a flower by being near it. Desire is a subtle form of conditioning for the living entity. So that's how we are conditioned, by our desires. We are the cause for our condition. That desire is a subtle form of conditioning. Write it in your instructions for book for life. That desire is a subtle form of conditioning. So we should always desire for Krishna. Any other desire will condition us. That the Lord, however, can fulfill all desires, and the Lord, being neutral to everyone, does not interfere with the desires of the minute, independent living entity. That's your free will. That's your only free will. You can desire what you want. Krishna does not interfere. And that free will you must have. Otherwise, you cannot love Krishna. Love is voluntary. Devotional service is voluntary. Prabhupada said many times. Don't force anyone. It is voluntary. However, when one desires Krishna, the Lord takes special care and encourages one to desire in such a way that one can attain him and be eternally happy. Thus again, we will hear in the most confidential knowledge at the end of the chapter 9. Samam Sarabhutsha Namit Veshtinapya. I'm Vinova Nam Novena Paksatwana Vanamikotro. But whoever in the service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I'm also a friend to him. Special relationship with his devotees. And that special relationship means he's encouraging us to desire in such a way that we can attain them and be eternally happy. Okay. That was okay. Desire is a subtle form of conditioning that we discussed. Vibhu and Anand. The Sanskrit word Vibhu means the Supreme Lord who is full of unlimited knowledge, riches, strength, fame, beauty, and demonstration. The Lord is Vibhu or omniscient. The living entity is Anand or atomic. So, how does he know our desires? We discussed. As one can smell the flavor of a flower. The Lord is the constant companion of the living entity as Paramatma, the super soul, and therefore he can understand the desires of the living entity as one can smell the flavor of a flower by being near. 16. That's a nice verse. Janina to the Dakshanam Yeshana Samatma Krishna Ekapachkanam Parisha. Whenever one is enlightened with knowledge by its necessity is destroyed, and this knowledge reveals everything as sun lights up everything in the daytime. So, yes? People that go back. People means the Supreme Lord. We will people that's we will also hear about the vibhutis, the great opulences of the Lord. So the Lord is full of unlimited knowledge, riches, besides opulence. There's 6 opulences. It's Parasara Muni's definition of God. Is 6. That and these are the opulences of the Lord. That the Vibhu opulences. Lord is Vibhu or omniscient, but living at his Anu or atomic. We are very small. We don't have. We have also maybe some knowledge, some riches, but Krishna has unlimited knowledge, riches, and fame, beauty, and demonstration. Therefore, it's called Vibhu, and we have only maybe a little. Anu, not much. Okay. So text 16. Kanina tu tadakyam nation nashtamatmana tisma dikyapachkanam prakshatu tattva. Whenever one is enlightened through the knowledge by which nation is destroyed, and this knowledge reveals everything on the sunlight of everything in the daytime. So one can know God and one's relationship with God when one actually meets a representative of God. one has to learn the distinction between God and the living entity. At night we see everything as one is in the darkness, but in the daytime, when the sun is up, we see everything in its real identity. Identity and individuality is spiritual life. It's real knowledge. The perfect knowledge we can get when we perform devotional service, when we surrender to Krishna. And when one becomes Krishna consciousness, everything becomes clear, like the sun comes up. That real knowledge is only obtained by a person in Krishna consciousness. But to attain it, we need to seek out the spiritual master and surrender to him and learn from him Krishna consciousness. So one so-called says in the Bible, one may know have the knowledge that he is not a body. But he may not know the difference between the soul and the super soul. And that's a problem. Then you think I'm one with God. Because who is controlling the body? They think I'm controlling. Because these are called monists. That is a deviation. The identity with individuality and spiritual life is really knowledge. Transcendental knowledge destroys ignorance. Those who associate with saintly persons have their ignorance, which is opposed to the knowledge destroyed by that knowledge of Atma environment. By that knowledge. Therefore, we have to associate with saintly persons who have that the right realization. Vidya liberates the jiva. So we will hear that also Vidya in Sri Upanishad. The difference will be explained with Vidya and Avidya, knowledge and ignorance. And it will explain it on different platforms, Vidya and Avidya. And it will discuss the results of one who is in Vidya and knowledge and one who is in ignorance. The Lord does not bind anyone, nor does he liberate everyone, but Vidya and Avidya, which are qualities of practice, liberate and bind the jiva. So we can get liberation by knowledge. In the 13th chapter, Krishna says, one who understands this knowledge in this chapter, he can liberate himself from the influence of matter, of the engagement of matter, just by his knowledge. Powerful knowledge. We know how to apply it in our lives. Now, the symptoms of and realizations of a self-realized soul and the introduction of Jnana Yoga and the peaceful moment. Three things. So Krishna will now give symptoms and realizations of one who is on the spiritual platform. So you can check if you have this realization. That if you don't have, then we can see how to develop them, which Prabhupada explains. And then we will come to a preparation of the introduction to the next chapter, which is the yoga. So we get a little glimpse of 2 verses in summary describing the yoga process. And then we come to the point of the essence of spiritual knowledge. Ook trouwens reduction, so look my shorts with himself of the not something which one who knows that Krishna is the proprietor of everything, of all planets, of everything that exists. And he's the enjoyer because the proprietor has the right to enjoy. And he's the friend of all living entities, and he's in everyone's heart. Then, yes, one attains peace. So we will see 17. That's an interesting verse. Tat buddhya sadatmas, tat nishta tat parayana, gachantu punarata bhaniryatu takonis. And once intelligence, mind, faith, and views are all fixed in the Supreme, then one becomes fully cleansed of misgivings to complete knowledge and proceed straight on the path of liberation. So we must always engage our intelligence in Krishna's service. How do we engage our intelligence? Well, we have Krishna, Srila Prabhupada gave us a preaching mission. Use your intelligence, how to organize this preaching mission. Srila Prabhupada, that he was doing and so many discussions. Even 3 days before he left the school, Bhakti Damodar Maharaj came to see him. And during the night, 3-4 hours, they were discussing preaching strategies that using one's intelligence. So that I think our administrators here know that also very well. How to running a temple, a lot of planning, a lot of opportunities to use intelligence in the service of Krishna. That and using one's mind in Krishna service, that thinking of Krishna, that and using one's emotions for Krishna. We have emotions. We can use in Krishna's service. Detivos is full with rasa, emotions. Very nice. That, so, yes. And then, Srila Prabhupada said, Bhagavan, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the last word and the absolute. Therefore, in all ways, Krishna is the supreme reality. The Krishna conscious person can totally understand that there is duality in Krishna, and equipped with such transcendental knowledge, one can make steady progress on the path of liberation. Duality in Krishna means, yes, an identity, individuality, that verse 18. No, 17. Yeah. 17. So this is a summary of this last section. When we speak in the knowledge of the relationship between the living entity, material nature, and the super soul, take shelter of the super soul, becomes enlightened and obtains liberation. A Krishna conscious person enjoys unlimited pleasure within himself by fixing his consciousness on Krishna. Always busy working for the welfare of all beings, he soon achieves liberation. So Krishna then introduces Jnana Yoga at the end of the chapter and will elaborate on it in chapter 6. It also presents the peacefully the last verse. A person in full Krishna consciousness, knowing Krishna to be the ultimate beneficiary. Summary. So we were speaking Tatpuryas Dharmas Tatnishtas Papraya, using your intelligence, mind, and all your faith in the service of Krishna. And we are cleansing our subtle body with the washing machine, cleansing. Those whose intellect, mind, and faith are fixed on me, Paramatma, were absorbed in glorifying and serving me, being washed of all ignorance by knowledge, never take birth. So should always be in the washing machine, our subtle body in the washing machine. That by using our intelligence, mind, so many steps of Krishna. So then what happens if one becomes clean in heart? Vidya Vinaya Sampanya Brahmaka Prasni Shunishve Prabhakasha Panida Samara. humble sage by virtue of true knowledge sees with equal vision a learned Brahmin, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater. So they are all on the screen here. That yeah, Paramatma is equal like rainfall. Baladev Vidyabhushan said. Paramatma is equal sama everywhere, like rainfall. Since the respective species keep their forms according to their respective karmas, not through the Lord's like or dislike of certain jivas. So that is verse 926. And Samam Sarvabhushanami Krishna. That I'm equal to all living entities. I just give them, they have pushed the bottom, okay. I'm checking what they pushed also in the past. And see what their desires were and what they have done, their reactions, and what is it's a supercomputer now. Krishna knows everything that he has done in all his lifetimes. We forgot, and he knows us for all living entities at all times. Can you imagine? That's quite that's yeah. Shut GPT. It's nothing against that. Artificial intelligence. That's another computer. They will never be able to make such a computer. And Krishna gives just exactly what we deserves. Exactly. So we don't have to blame Krishna. That we get reactions of what we don't, that's all. And that's but one must understand this material world that you want to enjoy, you will suffer. Krishna will say that a little further. I think it's 522. I think that's the key memorization verse. Usually, ye isam svasya yonya able to. And also the last verse, Bhakti Jagatavasam, the usually important verse. The Paramatma is equal. You see, it's raining. It's raining on the ocean. It's raining on the land. Krishna is equal. That now 19. Ihai Bhakti Sargo Yesam Sangas Vitamana Nirdosami Samam Brahma Tasman Pramanite Spitam. Those whose mind are established in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the condition of birth and death. They are flawless like Brahman, and thus they are always already situated in Brahman. What does that mean? Equanimity of mind, it's mentioned above, is a sign of self-realization. The equanimity of sameness. Happiness when it's first the same that lives and dislikes, no, they are not there anymore. Only on the spiritual platform. We like to what pleases Krishna. We don't like what displeases Krishna. That remains. But on the spiritual platform of material actions are gone. Minds established in sameness and equanimity. Liberated from that's the result. One does not take birth again. No samsara. That as long as one identifies with his body is considered a conditioned soul, but as long as it's elevated to the stage of equanimity, through realization of the self, is liberated from the conditioned mind. No birth. So as long as one identifies with his body is considered a conditioned soul, but as soon as it's elevated to the state of equanimity through realization of the self, is liberated from conditioned life. Yes. I remember that his first was a senior devotee in English, and I went with him to see Bhakti Maharaj in, and we were at the time we had a temple with a restaurant, a new temple. It has not been long there. Ticino, I think that is the Italian part, Germany. And I heard him instructing his first fire was not so well. He could leave his body. He left his body a few years ago. He could leave his body. And he told him when always when you are in such a difficult situation, when death comes, then you should think I'm not his body. Not his body. That's important. You identify with the mind, you have the body, you will take birth. That's interesting. But this verse says, to attain this stage, you must attain this level of equanimity. Therefore, we have to tolerate that and do not take these attachment and aversions. Don't leave your mind. Don't take the mind so serious. That we take the mind serious. Yeah. The mind says, now be depressed. This happened and that happened. And we say, yes, we follow Maya in this breath. You will suffer like anything. So don't take this mind too serious, all these things that come up in the mind. Just let that go. Yeah, not this mind. Okay, 20. Therefore, we must become a stira buddhi. So that's the level we must attain to become this, to get that equanimity in mind, stira buddhi. Navasichet Prampapyam Novichet Papya Sapyam Stira Buddha Samudi Brahmavid Brahmanistita. So you have to become a stira buddhi, self-intelligence, fixed in transcendental intelligence. Then you become a samudra. You stop being a Muda, an ass. Then you come to the Brahmavid, the knowledge of Brahman. Brahmanistita, you become situated in that translation. A person will neither rejoice upon achieving something pleasant nor laments upon obtaining something unpleasant. With self-intelligence, with unbewildered, and who knows the signs of God, is already situated in transcendence. When we have such a self-realized soul who is on that platform, and then you have a conditioned soul, and conditioned souls start to lament and this and that. And this self-realized soul always laughs. He's always happy, joyful. He's on a spiritual platform. They cannot understand each other. Like I said that when I told this story when we were checked in Ukraine at the Odessa airport, and they interrogated the Deland family. He was always laughing, that he was explaining, but always smiling. And this police agent became angry. You should not smile. They take it all very serious. Na patrzcie, Prampek na nogi się progresa. Means, but all the conditions show something pleasant happens and they become happy. And then something unpleasant, some suffering comes, and then mood goes down. But the devotee, for the devotee that does not exist, is always happy, is engaged with Krishna, and he does not take his mind serious. That's all this happiness and distress, it's temporary. That yes, all these so-called difficulties, it's temporary. That the caravan passes and the dogs will bark anyway. But the caravan will pass. That so the symptoms of the self-realized person are given here. First symptom is not illusioned by the false identification of the body with its true soul. He knows perfectly well that it is not a body, but is a fragmental portion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, not joyful in achieving something, nor does he lament in losing something, which is related to his body. This steadiness of mind is called stira buddhi. Stira buddhi. And stira buddhi are some of the Brahmavidvanis. This is called Brahman realization or self-realization. Such steady consciousness is called Krishna consciousness. So he has this steady intelligence, but how does he feel inside? He feels great joy inside. That pleasure within. Ayaspachasataktatma pinnata nyatsukam sabama yoga yuktatma sukamakshamastate. A liberated person is not attracted to material sense pleasure. He's always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. In this way, the self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness, for he concentrates on the Supreme. One devotee in India somewhere said to Prabhupada, I have a picture here for you. And it looks you are looking depressed on that picture. Prabhupada looked at that picture and said, oh yeah, I remember that moment, Prabhupada. I was feeling great ecstasy. So you cannot say that from the Sita, from the outside. That a person in Brahma Yoga or Krishna consciousness is so absorbed in the loving service of the Lord that he loses his taste for material pleasure altogether. No taste for things in this world. He only wants to serve Krishna, and that he feels his love for Krishna, his devotion, that you feel a devotion for Krishna, you come beyond time and space. That's a transcendental platform. So that is a test of spiritual realization. Spiritual realization and strict pleasure go even together. Krishna conscious person is not attracted to any kind of sense pleasure due to it being a liberated soul. A person in Brahma Yoga or Krishna consciousness is so absorbed in the loving service for the Lord that he loses his taste on person pleasure altogether. If you become purified, and then you read about the resonance of Vrindavan, you get a glimpse of that attraction. Spiritual realization and sex pleasure go together. No. 522. Memorization first, usually. Ye samspasya bhuga dukkha yona vibhati atyantavam kauntiya natishramati. The intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery which are due to contact with the material senses. Oh, son of Kunti, such pleasure have a beginning and an end, and otherwise is not delight in them. So, what the verse says is, you want to enjoy in this world the price is misery, suffering. That's the price. You want to enjoy, you want to eat living entities in the form of plants or meat or whatever. These living entities give their life for you. You have to suffer for that. Unless you offer the food as an offering to Krishna in sacrifice, you will have to suffer. We should put that at the inner side of our mind always when we go everywhere. And even if you think that you are going to enjoy it, it's not worthwhile. It's just for a few moments. How long does it take to eat a pizza? How long? 10 minutes, 20 minutes. And then after that, the problem will come back. You will soon get hungry again. No solution. That it's temporary. It's not worthwhile. That's what the sages say. A liberated person is not interested in anything which is temporary, knowing well the joys of transcendental pleasure. How can a liberated person so agree to enjoy false pleasure? It's false pleasure. It's not for the soul, it's for the body, but it's false pleasure. Therefore, those who are true yogis or learned transcendentalists are not attracted by sense pleasure, without the causes of continuous material existence. The more one is addicted to material pleasures, the more one is entrapped by material miseries. That's heavy. We have to give up at the end sense gratification altogether. Because in the spiritual world is no sense gratification. We would not be happy there if we want sense gratification. So we must go to the high. The more one is addicted to material pleasures, the more is entrapped by material pleasures. Okay. Entrapped by material, you see these addictions. People are really struggling in this world. They want to get rid of smoking, drinking. It's so difficult. But alcohol is anonymous and so many things. Difficult to give it up. What to say with addicted to drugs. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Rishabhadev told his undersons, my dear boys, of all living entities who have accepted material bodies in this world, one who has been aware of this human form should not work hard and day simply for sense gratification, which is available even for those and others that is true. One should engage in penance and austerity to attain the divine position of devotion and service. By this activity, one's heart is purified. And when one attains this position, he attains eternal blissful life, which is transcendental to material happiness, and which continues forever. Tapodipyam. Perform the austerity devotion service. So, Saknoti Devyas and Akshaya Moksana, Kamakoda Bhavanti Ansayukta Saspina. Before giving up his present body, if one is able to tolerate the urges of material sense, check the cause of desire and anger, he is well situated and happy in his form. So that is something that develops gradually. That like it's a Ekadashi today, it's good to fast if you're out of hours. That makes you stronger to give up this tendency for sense gratification. But if one is able to tolerate the urges of the material sense, is that, but we must continue to try to control them. Therefore, the devotee, he eats spiritually, that not too much, that because it is said in the scriptures, one who eats three meals a day is a Visaya. This is sense gratification. That a greedy person. 2 times, normally, but the devotee mostly eats 1 time. A little nuts in the morning to keep the hunger away, and then at noontime, lunch, and that's it. But most of us cannot do it. Ayurveda says you should eat what you can digest. If you eat more than you can digest, you will create toxins from disease. What can you digest? What your stomach can hold. What can your stomach hold? What you can carry in your 2 hands. That's the maximum you can eat in 1 time. And from that amount, you should eat in the morning 60%. At noontime, when the fire digestion is high, 80 till 90%. And in the evening, maximum 10 to 20%. You eat in the evening and you go to sleep after that, you get problems in the night. But the devotee knows these things. Therefore, one eats spiritually over that. Just to get the machine nicely running. Not too much, not too less. But that's important. We have to try to control it. Material desires, when unsatiated, generate anger. And thus the mind and chest becomes agitated. Therefore, one must practice to control them before one gives up the material body. It is the duty of the transcendentalist to try strenuously to control desire and anger. Desire and anger. 2 points. So, yeah, that's what Prabhupada said. So, he who can tolerate in this world the agitation arising from lust and anger before being liberated from the body is a yogi and is happy. Vishwanath says. 24. Yunta Sukantaraga Mastatanta Chote Kayasa Yoga Vamani Panamba Buddhikachati. When whose happiness is within, who is active within, and the choice is within, and whose aim is inward, is actually the perfect mystic, is liberated in the Supreme and ultimately obtains the Supreme. So Prabhupada makes a point, unless we feel this happiness within, how can you give up materialistic activities for sense that how can you give up material happiness? So as a symptom, when situated on that platform, it does not want material sense gratification, material happiness for the body. That's called Brahma Buddha. Such a person who is in that condition, he goes back to Godhead. So, Prabhupada, unless one is able to relish happiness from within, how can one retire from the external engagement meant for deriving superficial happiness? Such a liberated person enjoys by factual experience. So, if feels this happiness within, always connected with Krishna, that when on the level of Sakti, sees Krishna in the heart. This is described in in the nectar of instruction, text 8, I think, one should chant this nectarian holy names of the Lord 24 hours a day. In that purport, in that purport verse, that Srila Prabhupada writes, it describes the process of Smarana Vasta, 5 stages of recollection and remembering Krishna. So, in the beginning, when we chant, sometimes we remember Krishna, sometimes not. But then after that, the periods that we remember Krishna become longer, and the periods we forget Krishna become shorter, right? And the idea is that at a certain moment, when we remember, when we can remember Krishna without interruption, interrupted, anusmriti, remembering Krishna, uninterrupted. That's the platform of liberation. And then what will happen? Then Jadli, Krishna, will reveal him to you from within the heart. First, Prabhupada says in a lecture on that verse, Krishna will manifest his beautiful form, and you will appreciate his beauty, his smiling face, his sweetness will manifest. And then, after that, you will see that Krishna is, there's a background, there's a spiritual world, is in the spiritual world that you see in your heart. And you see the kalpavrikshas, parrots flying, and then Krishna manifests his holy Dham, and then he manifests his pastimes. You see his associate, and you enter Krishna's aprakat lila in the heart. Krishna's pastimes in the heart. But when you are on that level, that always ecstatic. That of course these are high realizations which practically no one has. That's the pure devotee. But that's described here. That's the perfect mystic. Unless one is able to relish happiness from within, how can one retire from external engagement meant for deriving superficial happiness? A liberated person enjoys by practical experience. So that gives hope. We're called perfect. So then, 25. Labandeva manirvanam yashakshina kalmasam Kinam Vetyatatmata Sarvabhutaiteata. Those who are beyond the dualities that arise from doubts, whose minds are engaged within, who are always busy working for the welfare of all living entities, and free from all sins, achieve liberation. The Prabhupada said, when a person actually is in knowledge that Krishna is the fountain of everything, then he acts in that spirit for everyone. The sufferings of humanity are due to forgetfulness of Krishna as the supreme enjoyer, the supreme proprietor, and the supreme friend. Therefore, to act to revive this consciousness within the entire human society is the highest welfare for us. So, the devotee, because he feels that pleasure within, he wants to give it to everyone. Therefore, he preaches very, very vigorously, and his preaching is for the welfare of everyone. So Krishna consciousness has no doubt about supremacy of Krishna. He has no doubt because he's completely freed from all sins. The temporary relief of the external body and mind is not satisfactory. The real cause of one's difficulties in the hard struggle of life may be found in one's forgetfulness of one's relationship with Krishna. when one is fully Krishna conscious, this relationship with Krishna is actually a liberated soul, although it may be still in the material tabernacle. So, Prabhupada, the suffering of humanity are due to forgetfulness of Krishna, the supreme proprietor and the supreme friend. Therefore, to act and to revive this consciousness within the entire human society is the highest welfare form. If we engage in that welfare work, we will become very deep to Prabhupada. So such a person is assured of liberation. 26. Karma kod vimuktnam yatnam yatasit samabhidabam yatnam partate viditatman. Those who are free from anger and all material desires for self-realized, self-discipline, and constantly endeavoring for perfection, assured liberation in the supreme, in the near future. For self-realized, self-discipline, and constant endeavor for perfection. What were these 4 things that we must do to remain on the road? Service, strength, weight, and please. All the regulated depends. Yeah. Then we are on the boat. We come to the same position as here at the end. Prabhupada, yeah, this is a verse from the 4th canto, which describes, the same mood. Just like to worship in the devotional service, bountifully, three personality are quoted. Even great sages are not able to control the forces of the sun as effectively as those who are engaged in the transcendental bliss by serving the lotus feet of the Lord, uprooting the deep-grown desire of good activities. Even great sages are not able to control the suns. We have heard about Vishwamitra, who was struggling. But Haridas Thakur was allured by Maya itself and had no problem of he did not come under his control. Similarly, the devotee in Krishna consciousness, although far away, thinking himself constantly, by engaging in Krishna consciousness, he does not feel the pangs of material miseries. This state of life is called Brahma Nirvana, or the absence of material miseries, due to being constantly immersed in Krishna consciousness. So that is what's on the screen, that in the conditioned soul, the desire to enjoy fruitive results of work is so deep-rooted that it's very difficult, even for the great sages, to control desire despite great endeavors. But the devotee of the Lord constantly engaged in the service of the Lord, perfectly in self-realization, very quickly attains liberation. Good, now we 26. That's verse 26. That's a commentary of Baladev Vidyabhushan. The Paramatma indeed serves such person. Paramatma in all respects, abhita, abtansapan, bhaktate, those persons who endeavor in this way. It is said the fish nourishes its offspring by seeing the turtle by meditation and the birds by touch. I nourish my devotees with similar affection, O Brahma. That's how Krishna takes care of us when we always think of him. Now the yogi, this is a preview of chapter 6, which will be discussed tomorrow. That it's a summary of what's going to come. Sankrit Pavaya Bayam Saksusai Pantre Bibo Panapana Samankrit Vanasabyantra Chani Yatandya Manomini Muni Muksupaina Vigatit Subayankodo Yasatam Taribasa. shutting out all of external sense objects, keeping the eyes and vision concentrated between the two eyebrows, suspending the inwards and outward breaths within the nostrils, and thus controlling the mindfulness and intelligence. The transcendentalist, aiming at liberation, becomes free from desire, fear, and anger. When we soul is in that state, is totally liberated. So the yoga process is an artificial way to become free from fear and anger and feel the presence of the super soul. Paramatma Samahita. That's the purpose of this yoga, the super soul. We will hear about that tomorrow. That's where Prabhupada writes. When one is well situated in devotional service, one comes to the transcendental position, qualified to feel the presence of the Lord in the sphere of one's activity. This particular position is called liberation in the Supreme. By devotional service, by going to our process, we will come to feel and experience Krishna, not only in your heart, also everywhere. Not only in the heart, also externally, in others' hearts, in every atom. Then we have Prahlad Maharaj saw him in the pillar, everywhere. So after explaining the both principles of liberation in the Supreme, the Lord gives instruction to Arjuna as to how one can come to that position by practice of the mysticism by yoga, known as Ashtanga Yoga, which is divisible into eightfold procedures called Yam, Niyam, Asam, Pranayam, Pratyahara, Dharan, Dhyan, and Samadhi. So we will discuss all these stages tomorrow. In other words, Krishna consciousness is the easiest process for executing yoga principles. This will be thoroughly explained in the next chapter. A Krishna conscious person, however, being always engaged in devotional service, does not risk losing his senses to some other engagement. It is a better way of controlling the senses than Ashtanga Yoga. So, using your body, mind, and words, that Buddhyastatma, Statistasta Prajna, as we heard, that will purify you. And it's a more secure way to control the senses. And now, okay, these are the stages of Ashtanga Yoga maybe it's also mentioned in the purport. Better than Ashtanga Yoga is devotional service. The Krishna conscious person, however, being always engaged in devotional service, does not risk losing his senses to some other engagement. This is the better way of controlling the senses than Ashtanga Yoga. Vishwamitra tried it to Ashtanga Yoga. The problem is with Ashtanga Yoga, it does not purify the heart. The roots of one's material desires are still there. One may be able to remove the reactions, but it is like in the sixth canto, Sukadeva Goswami says, it is like you have a forest of bamboos, and you cut the bamboos above the root, and the whole forest is gone. All your simple reactions are gone. But the root is still there, the desire is still there. And when the next rainy season comes, it grows again, and the forest is again there. That's the problem. To remove the roots, you need bhakti. Without that, it becomes, one can purify him to a great extent, but it takes many births. Birth after birth. The peace formula, the last verse. Bhaktam Sagatavasam Sarvalokamasram Sridam Sarvbhutyam Gatvaman Samtim Richati. Person in full conscious of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifice and austerity, the Supreme Lord of all planets and demigod, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace of the pangs of material miseries. The purport. The greatest peace formula is simply this. Lord Krishna is the beneficiary of all human activities. Man should offer everything to the transcendental service of the Lord because he's the proprietor of all planets and demigods therein. The last line. There is a gradual process of elevation in the practice of yam, niyam, asam, pranayam, pratyahara, dharan, dhyan, and samadhi. But these are only prefaced perfection by devotional service, which alone can award peace to the human being. It is the highest perfection of life. Because that process of Ashtanga Yoga can bring you to Paramatma realization, but then you need to develop love for Paramatma and understand that Paramatma is an expansion of Krishna. And then you enter the realm of Bhakti. So why taking that trouble life after life after life? And then after that, still, to go to the spiritual world, you must take to Bhakti. It's losing one's time. So, peace formula. Lord Krishna is the beneficiary of all human activities. Man should offer everything to the transcendental service of the Lord, because he's the proprietor of all plants and demigods thereon. The Lord is a master of material nature, and the conditioned souls are under the stringent rules of material nature. Unless one understands this bare facts, it is not possible to achieve peace in the world, individually or collectively. These are the memorization verses that I have. Are they the same as yours? Yeah, okay. Good. Thank you so much. Any question? Yes, please.
So it's repeatedly hammered again and again that the soul and body control of the body. All that are carried out by the soul. I'm just curious, is it also that the soul does not provide light to the body? Like it doesn't provide light to the matter that provides the body, it's just the super soul is doing that. I was
Different. So what's your question?
like what is providing light to the matter that comprises the body?
Matter is also always dead. It's never alive. It is the soul that is alive in the body. The consciousness. The soul is alive. If the soul is out of the body, everything stops. Your heart stops, everything. It's all finished when the soul is out of the body. The life is the soul. The body is always dead.
I guess you would say that the body is kind of prison for the soul.
The body is quite
Kind of prison for the soul.
yes, yes. Yeah. That's but we have to understand how we are imprisoned. What are the shackles that binds us? We will learn that in the 13th chapter of the Gita, and also in the 15th chapter. In the 15th chapter, Bhakti Prakati Chan. Because we want to control matter. We want to enjoy this body and this matter. We desire that. And that's how our pure consciousness becomes polluted. Because we have nothing to do with the body, but that makes us falsely identify with that. But we must be careful if we said we are doing nothing. We are doing things by design. We are responsible. We are still one of the 5 factors of doing things. It's not that everything is going by the super soul. Then we are just robots we are not that, but Krishna respects our desires, even if we want something different. Anyway, good.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you.
Soul and the super soul leave the body at the same time. And then
That is explained in detail in the 15th chapter. And in the 8th chapter also we will hear about the transmigration of the soul. That it is at the time of death, the subtle body moves out of the gross body. And who drives this subtle body out of the gross body is the super soul. The super soul brings the soul to its next destination. According to its consciousness of the time of death, we will go to that in detail. And in more detail, we find that in the Bible. Very detailed and scientifically explained. But that's going to come. We have more fun studying that in the 15th chapter.
one more question, Maharaj. Does the demoniac people ever turn to Krishna or he never turns?
That the demoniac people that Krishna says, I throw them in the lower species of life. And when they are in the lower species of life, they come gladly back to the human form of life. When they get when they get again, after many births, hundreds of births, the human form, they get a new chance. So there is always a chance. But they must undergo a change of heart. And we are in the same position. Everyone in Kali Yuga is half demon and half devotee. Well, mostly, we are both in our. And we have to get the demon part out. That by chanting, by hearing about Krishna, and so on. But the fact itself that we get a material body is by our demoniac desires. So this nobody can say in this world, I'm a good person. No, you desire to compete with Krishna, and and we have to get rid of that. But having these demoniac qualities partially, it's no obstacle to make advancement in devotional service. One follows the process. But when one is fully demoniac, envious, really envious of Krishna, that's not going to work. They have to go their own way. And Krishna tells in the 16th chapter what he does with them.
So the only way is to provide them with some prasadam, so that
Even though they may not accept, but we can try. We can try. But those who are really demonic, they don't like it. But anyway.
one more question.
Yeah.
Is there any mention of animal sacrifice in the Vedic literature?
There is mention, but the purpose of animal sacrifice was in Satya Yuga, and they were qualified Brahmins. And an animal would be sacrificed in the fire and come out with a new body. They would not be killed. But in Kali Yuga, that is not possible. There are not qualified Brahmins who can do that. Therefore, that sacrifice in Kali Yuga is forbidden. But if you want to read more about that, Lord Chaitanya has this discussion with the Kasi. And the Kasi says, yeah, in your Hindu practice, you have also animal sacrifices. Then you can read what Lord Chaitanya answers. It's but yeah, it's in the line as I tried to explain now. Yeah. Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, yesterday you mentioned a chart from the Gita with 16 topics and all of the verses are within by those topics. Do you know how I could find that?
Yeah, at the moment, I'm moving that on the screen. It should not be too far here. So, no, it's, mhm. You understand. Okay, how would I like it? Yeah, man. It does not display it on the screen here. That's a problem. But let's see here. If I can see it. This is a study guide. And I think let's just try up to the end. There are also section summaries which may be interesting for you. But I add here that you have here the key theme verses for the 16 topics. I read here. It's page 8. 86, 89, 96, 86. Well, I cannot show it on the screen, but you are all on the WhatsApp group, right? So what I do, I'm going to the WhatsApp group now. And I see, yeah, Bhakti Sastri. Line, yeah. It's add attachment, document. I'm going to get a document. And page 168. It's on the way. Should be there now.
Thank you so much.
You can study it. There are many other things out there. Okay, thank you very much. Then we continue tomorrow morning with chapter 6. The first half between 7 and 9. The second half between 11, 1:30, 2 o'clock, then finish. So you have more time to study. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Thank you.